It's funny. For some reason, our video isn't playing. Oh, there we go. And here we go.
What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, I'm Love Coach Catamas, and I'm going to go sit next to Eden in a moment. But I want to welcome everybody who's watching. This is going to be a very special show. We are coming to you live from the Haven, which is this extraordinarily beautiful place in Ashland, Oregon, created by our beloved, the TwinRay. And we have with us the community that has been building around the TwinRay. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment, but I want to ask everybody to consider joining us in the Zoom room. We already have a lot of our favorite friends, and of course, all of our friends from all over the world are with us. We've got Dorina from Ecuador and people from British Columbia. But I know a lot of people are also watching on Facebook. So if you're watching on one of the Facebook groups and pages, please come in and join the Global Peace Tribe. And it's really easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com. You'll learn all about our shows. You can get a free copy of Deborah Justy's book, and then click register for the new season. There's the TwinRay right there. Click register for the new season, and it'll take you to our registration page. We do 3 or 4 shows every week, and they're all wonderful. Last Wednesday night, Omshar and Trish and I took a little trip down memory lane. And this is the show you're going to see tonight, inside a thriving TwinRay community, meeting all these beautiful, beautiful souls. And we're also going to hear from the beloved TwinRay themselves. It's going to be a very special show. It's going to go for a while. So get ready. It's probably going to be a 3-hour show because we've got a lot planned tonight. Interviews, kirtan, music with Omshar, and we're going to observe and participate in a group healing experience. And then tomorrow is our Authors That We Love show. We do these periodically. We've got 3 amazing authors who will be joining us. Now, when you join the Global Peace Tribe, you're going to get the links to all of our shows. Again, 3 or 4 shows every week. So join the Global Peace Tribe. And while you're joining the Global Peace Tribe, I'm going to join Eden Amadora, who can tell you a little bit about her experience. And Eden, go ahead and unmute.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Scott, maybe if you turn your volume off, it won't feed back.
I'll turn the volume off.
We're all experimenting with the tech side. Welcome, everyone. I have the great pleasure of being here live with the TwinRay community, and I've been so blessed up in the last 24 hours by my visit here in Ashland. I'm excited to bring them to the community to have this really up close and personal, intimate time to find out how this amazing couple, this divine union couple, this ascended couple has changed their lives. We're going to be talking about some of the radical transformations, healings, and other spiritual breakthroughs that the community has been having here with the TwinRay. And yeah, in my own heart, I just wish to share that I had no idea from being with them just on the little screen. And this weekend I've had the opportunity to be in their physical presence and deeply feel the love, the compassion, and the devotion to our ascension and full embodiment in this lifetime. It is a true gift. I'm so honored. So thank you.
And you had an amazing healing experience.
Yes, I had an opportunity to sit in the presence of the beloveds, which they're called so affectionately, yesterday evening, and to drop into what I call a deep, empty presence meditation with ShekinahMa. And to feel my heart really catalyzed, really lit a flame at a whole new octave of just devotion to my own walk in love, as love, for love. And to be seen like that and to know that level of compassion and unconditional love is really, really rare in this lifetime. So my devotion to this path is amplified, and it's just been a wonderful experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're going to get to meet all these wonderful people. I don't know if, Craig, you can show the camera. Can you do a pan and show the audience at home? And everybody at home, this is the beautiful community of people that have come to Ashland, Oregon. Many of them have moved from as far as Germany, Southern California, Colorado, San Diego, Hawaii. I mean, they actually drew people from Hawaii. Right?
It's got to be good.
So you know something special's happening. Yeah. So the first person that I'm going to have Eden interview, and she's going to take my spot now, is Charis. And Charis came all the way from Germany. She's been working very closely with beloveds and knew ShekinahMa even before ShekinahMa met SanandaJi. So I give up my seat to Charis.
Hi, Charis. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, it's been so wonderful getting to spend time with you at the sanctuary. And yesterday you shared very deeply with me about your healing journey and the miracle of what's happened since meeting ShekinahMa. So I'm wondering if you'll share with the audience what you have been through and what's shifted for you.
Yes, I'd be happy and honored to. Thank you so much. It was, for me, it was quite a journey because I had, following a near-death experience, I had a non-functioning pancreas, and I was left with a not functioning digestion. I wasn't able to eat any fats, any spices, any raw foods, any nothing, no fruit, no smoothies, no salads, no nothing, just bland and boiled, as if you have a stomach bug, basically, right? And so the doctors, they couldn't find anything once the infection was gone, and the internal specialists, but yet I was still in so much pain that I couldn't bend over to tie my shoelaces or, sleep on the left side of my bed. So I was quite restricted. I had to take my food everywhere, and wasn't able to eat out anywhere. And so it was, and I didn't know if it was ever going to get better because, so I sought, and like you do, you look for alternatives. And I did really like everything I could imagine, from acupuncture over finding healers, the best that I know, even one who was working with John of God in the operating room at the time. And they didn't know what to do, nothing was helping. And then through a divine orchestration where I was basically I had to fly to Greece to meet somebody from Belgium, who invited me to Belgium, where I met somebody from England who had come from Sydney to Germany the week before, where he had the week before met beloved ShekinahMa. And so, not that they sent me to Germany directly, right? No.
Yeah, you came from there, but it was a long roundabout way to get back there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what was it like meeting her for the first time?
Yeah. So he put me into contact with her, and she was at the West Coast at the time. And when I looked at her website, I knew who she was, and I reached out to her and asked, explain the situation and if she was willing to work with me. And I received an email on my 40th birthday. And so which was probably the biggest gift of my entire life, yeah. And so a few weeks later, she started to work. We started to have sessions one-on-one over the phone. She was on the West Coast and I was in Germany. And she started to release the traumas that had caused the near-death experience and the problems and issues with the digestion. And it wasn't until some months later, when my body was fully prepared, that over the phone, I received, from her being in the US on the West Coast and me being in Germany, a full new organ transplant.
So like energetically, she was able to go in with you and
she created
a whole new
She exchanged
pancreas.
the pancreas for a new
Wow.
one. Yeah.
This is beyond medicine and such a, our science can't measure this stuff. It's just a miracle.
And really, I had no idea what that meant because, at that time I was like, okay, I had let go of all expectations. It's like if I was ever going to get better. And so at that time, I was like, okay, and I was following my inner guidance very strictly on what I could eat.
Right.
So for like 1 year and 10 months, I'd been like 1 spoon of yogurt, 2 spoons of yogurt, 3 spoons of yogurt, stop. Okay, right, okay, stop.
Very limited life.
Very limited. Restricted. It was very much on the internal guidance, very restricted. And imagine, you know how it is when you're on your diet on a diet for a couple of weeks. Now imagine being like that for 1 year and 10 months.
Right, and not to mention the pain you were in constantly.
The pain, yeah.
So how long until you suddenly woke up and you're like, I'm not in pain? Or what came first? Was it craving new foods, or how did you know something changed?
The pain started to ease over the time when she was working with me, and I started to be able to sleep on my left side again. Those were the first things, but the radical change was really after the full organ transplant, when after 1 week I suddenly was feeling like, I think I can eat cheese. Right? Now that, after not being able to eat cheese for 1 year and 10 months, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm like, you're like unsure. It's like, okay, and I really, so I took the thinnest slice you can imagine, like see-through. And
it was fine. No
it was
pain.
fine, no pain, nothing. And I was just amazed.
What a blessing. So you had this opportunity to work one-on-one with her really deeply, and that's such an amazing opportunity. And is that even possible anymore? I mean, I know how many people love them and want to meet them, and do they have that level of mentorship or time for people still?
They are because of their increasing world service duties, they're very limited, of course, and by the way, my digestion is perfect now because within 3 weeks I was eating buttercream cake after the full organ transplant.
This is great. I can imagine so many of our guests are dealing with health issues and suffering. So to hear that these kind of things are even possible is hopeful.
Yeah, and there is a possibility that there are limited spaces for their one-on-one guidance programs available right now. So this is where people can apply.
Okay.
And
by application.
Yes, by application.
Right.
Because it's just because the time is limited, really.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing such great work. I think Scott is showing everyone now that page. Should they feel
can.
that call and know, like, I need that depth of healing or just breakthrough from trauma and pain.
Yeah.
What a blessing. I'm
Yeah.
so happy for you. And it's just
Yeah.
been, can I just say that for me, being in your presence and feeling your heart and your love, and how this ripple from their love is rippling through you. You have just been such a blessing in the last 24 hours to me. So it's been wonderful being with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It has been such a joy to be with you. And yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, so good to meet you.
Charis, can you introduce Brian and Risha?
Yes, absolutely. So, beloved Brian and Risha are our longest and twin flame couple. They are most beautiful, loving, kind, gentle beings in our community. I've been supporting so many people in our community, and I would love to hand over to
Wonderful.
you,
Thank you,
beloveds.
Charis.
Yes.
And come on up and I'll scoot over. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so
Hi.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you
what
for
a-
having
what a-
us.
Do you have enough space
Do
there?
you
I
have
think
enough
we're all showing
good.
up pretty well there. Great.
Great.
So good to meet you. It's Brian
Brian, yes.
and
Risha.
Risha.
Yes.
Wow, what a beautiful couple you are. Just
Aw,
feeling
thank you.
feeling you too.
Thank you.
So I'm curious, like we've been talking about before we began, the transformations that you've both experienced. And I'm also really just fascinated by the concept of the beloved union, this kind of divine union soul contract, and how working with the TwinRay has inspired your union and deepened it, or what you might want to share in that way, because I know so many people are longing for this in their lives deeply.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Well, what's interesting is that we actually met about a year before we first met the Beloveds, or first met SanandaJi. And so we felt like we were a twin flame. And so after we saw them and knew that they were our teachers and we wanted to work with them, one of the things we did is when we first started working, we said, "Are we actually a twin flame? You know, can you tell us that?" And they said, they looked at the chart and and they're up here in the Akashic, and they're like, "Oh yes, you are a twin flame. You are the highest, not highest level, but like your charts are exactly opposite from each other." So we're like, okay, that's we knew, but we were like, it was so nice to have that confirmation. So
You probably felt it in your hearts in some way. It
Yes.
just like amplified that.
yes, because we
Yeah.
knew each other when we met.
Yeah, we recognized each
yeah.
other right away. That's a
Yeah.
long story, but it was really aligned for us to come together. And to answer part of your question about what are all the shifts and changes, there are so many. But I would have to say, for me, it was the heart. When we first started having ascendantship calls with him years ago, I would spend about 10 minutes at the beginning of the call just crying because I recognized them. I'd been looking for, I knew my true teachers were out there, and it just took me 26 years to find them. And I remember when I saw Sananda for the first time, I recognized him. And then when SanandaJi and ShekinahMa came together, I was in such gratitude and happiness and honoring that I'm home. I just kept feeling that. So just working with them, the layers of the heart just started peeling away, the resistances, the inner child, all of those things. And a lot of the healing and shift has come from observation of
Right.
both of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
being in their field, feeling it's almost like the 4-minute mile when you see that's possible.
Yes,
it
exactly.
like
Yes.
activates something in your spirit
that's one of the first things, yes, when we saw them together and we knew they were our teachers, we also knew it's like they're a divine couple and we want to learn how to be in relationship that way.
Yeah.
You know, and so like Brian said, we just have observed, and they've worked with us on different things going on in our fields that needed balancing, clearing, so that we could come together in greater and higher unconditional love and integrity. So that's been a huge, huge gift.
It's a huge gift, and what I love about, just two things, what I love about Mother Shekinah is her softness and her lovingness, but her fierceness. Like, she just cuts right
Yes.
through it, and it's like, okay, I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it's cleared. And the other thing is observing them in anybody who's ever been in a retreat, it just melts your heart after, like, the sat song is finished, how sweet they are together and how
Witnessing
loving
them.
they are. And it's just, it really has taught me how to be a much better partner and a better man, and not only to my beloved, but to people in my life.
Beautiful.
And be respectful and loving and kind and responsive, and yeah.
I really feel the heart presence and just the depth of the work that you've both done. It's beautiful to witness. Is there anything, I know as a couple it's really been this supportive activation. What about individually in your own inner spiritual transformation? Is there anything else you would want to share at all from where you were before to where you are now? I know you spoke about inner child. Are there specific wounds that have been completely touched and opened up and healed that you never knew it were possible? Or
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my work in this lifetime has been with my father, and that's been an ongoing. You think you get to a point, I thought, where I got to a point where, oh, I've cleared that, and then there's another layer, another layer. I feel of any of the work that I've done with the beloveds, and internally, it's been helping me to really transcend through the programs they've offered, but also the ceremonies that we've been in. I can't even imagine where I'd be without them, and working through that, the family dynamics, the karmas, the relationship with my father. So that's been just
Powerful.
very powerful and just a miracle, really.
beautiful to witness. What about you? Is there anything else you would add?
Oh gosh, again, the heart opening, and I just feel like I've really learned how to slow down. I've gone through my life very quickly. It feels like, and when I started, when I came into the community and started working with them, I just felt, I noticed that, and it's just brought me to a place of much more presence being with them and working with them, and heart opening and deepening, and just how to really be that unconditional love with a partner. I mean, I can do it with my children, you know, but with a partner, it's harder.
Right.
And so, especially when you're reflecting things to each other all
Your
the
mirror
time.
is always right there.
Yeah, so, you know, it's just like, wait, no, that's not me. No, that's
Right, the sacred mirror.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
that's always a challenge in relationships, especially at the level where you're really so deeply on your path, the way we are with beloved ShekinahMa and SanandaJi. So it's just shown me a lot of things about myself that I was really happy to see and transform.
That
And
presence is everything.
the presence is
When you
everything.
Get there.
Presence and
Yeah.
the surrender, and
And
to not
surrender,
fight it. Just
yes.
let the ego.
Yes.
I've been hearing
yeah.
how you two are pillars in this community, and maybe you could say one more thing before we complete, just about the role of satsang and community, and how that's also a big part of the spiritual path in the TwinRay community.
Definitely, absolutely. We met the beloveds right after they got together, had their sacred marriage, and we were talking to them about this community they were going to build. That was 5 years ago. And so we always knew that we said, oh yes, we're going wherever you're going, and we want to be part of that. And that's one of our missions. That's it. You know, we're there, and so we've just been part of watching everything just manifest, and all the magic, and we are so grateful and so happy. We moved up from Southern California after they did, and they got here, and we're like, okay, we're coming. And so we're here now,
Love and
living.
serve.
And yes, exactly. And so happy to be here with all of our beautiful, beloved family who's been gathering over the years. And
I think it's
so
oh,
honored
sorry.
and excited, happy.
I think it's so important, as we know, and the Beloveds have spoken about, as community is everything in this lifetime and on this path.
Yeah.
And so, very grateful for
Yeah,
everybody.
we're not meant to do it alone anymore. It's
No,
not like a solo.
no, we have to do it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So good to meet you too.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for
so much.
sharing. So
Yes,
beautiful.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you for having
Thank you
us.
so much.
Thank you.
Well, as you know, on the show we have music, and we're gonna have Maggie leading kirtan.
That was beautiful.
Original sound.
Let's see.
And people, as you're talking, we need you to be a little louder. Our audience is having a little trouble hearing you.
Oh,
So just remember to project as best as you can. And after Maggie's song, let's go with Ray, and then we'll do.
Yeah.
Is your original sound on, Maggie?
The original sound is on.
Yay.
Yeah. How does that sound?
Do a strum. No, we can't hear you, sweetie. Is the does it say original sound on?
It says original sound. Oh, on.
Okay, now do a strum. There we go. Okay.
Perfect. Good. Okay, perfect.
All right.
And you can just message us if something happens with the sound.
Okay, I will.
I'm grateful to be here and share this song with you all. We're gonna do Om Namo Amitabhaya, and this came up today in our hike as it is entering the limitless light. And so we're just gonna call in the limitless light, and you're welcome to sing along. You're welcome to just listen and breathe this light into your being. Om Namo Amitabhaya, Buddhaya, Dharmaya, Sanghaya. Om Namo Amitabhaya, Buddhaya, Dharmaya, Sanghaya. Om Namo, Om Namo, Om Namo Amitabhaya. Om Namo, Om Namo, Om Namo Amitabhaya. Om Namo Amitabhaya, Buddhaya, Dharmaya, Sanghaya. Om Namo Amitabhaya, Thank you.
So beautiful.
We have to change the sound if we don't do music.
You can leave the sound, original sound on.
Okay, leave it like this.
It sounds fine.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask you, Maggie,
Yes.
tell us about your experience, how you met ShekinahMa and the transformation that's brought into your world and your life.
Wow. Well, that is definitely a long story.
Maybe a
so I'll
nugget,
do my
like a
best
short-
to shorten
A
it.
short little nugget of that, like, oh my goodness, I
Yeah.
want to be with this being. How did you know?
I knew instantly, honestly. I met her at Trilogy Sanctuary in San Diego through my sister. And my sister told me, she was like, you're going to love this lady. Because we were just starting our spiritual journey. And she also was like, you can ask her anything, she'll know. And so our first meeting was almost like a Q&A. I was just asking her any spiritual question I had, and she answered right away. And I just remember our first conversation was really funny. It was, I was asking her, I was like, I'm a fairy, right? And she was like, actually, I really feel more of a unicorn, but yeah, you do have fairy.
You are, as an innocent-hearted being, I see you as a unicorn, absolutely.
Yeah,
How
and
beautiful.
from then on, I asked if she needed any help, and she really just took me under her wing. And I had no idea at the time how much she would take me under her wing, and how she's literally changed the whole direction of my life, and just, really given me wings to be on the highest timeline. And it's been such an honor to see her journey and to watch that she would tell me things that are happening now or have happened. And so
She made some predictions a lot
Yes.
earlier that have
Yeah.
come to be. How fun for you to just watch this unfolding and trust the process.
absolutely.
So beautiful, so sweet being with you too these days.
you
What a
too.
blessing. Thank you.
We're gonna have more Maggie later in the show.
Yes, we'll have Maggie back on for more music. Yay! Thank you. Fun. Welcome. Hi. Will you tell me your name again?
It's Ray.
Ray.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I haven't had a chance to speak with you as much as some of the others so far, but
Yeah.
I would love to hear your personal story of the transformation, the impact that the TwinRay has had on you.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, I'll start when I was 3 years old. My dad, he went to jail, and he stayed in jail for almost 35 years, and he died in jail. I was the oldest daughter, so I had to take on a lot of responsibility with my mom, who was in the military at the time. And we moved a lot. We traveled every 2 or 3 years my whole life until I was 35. I was also in the military as well. And that kind of life, I had a lot of abandonment issues, a lot of anger. And at one point in my life as an adult, I decided that I wanted to write a book about love. And I went to seminary because I thought I better go to seminary because that's probably where you would find the most information about this
Divine
book.
love.
Right. And, I don't believe in coincidences. I had a lot of different synchronicities in my life. That was 2007 that I wanted to write the book. I graduated from seminary in 2014. I read this book, The Synchronicity Key, in 2012, but it wasn't until 2020 that I met ShekinahMa and SanandaJi. And they were doing a video with David Lyon, and the video was called Love All, Serve All. And I watched that video, and that was the whole answer. That was everything I wanted to put
You're
in
like,
the book.
I don't need to write
was
the
like-
book now.
Right.
It's like,
It was.
there it is.
It was like just the perfect something for my life.
I can
And
sense the resonance.
Yeah.
How it struck you so
Yes,
deeply.
yes.
And then what? How did
and
you meet them?
then I went on the website and I just started signing up for everything that I could find. And I actually signed up for the Ascendanship, and Charis was one of the first folks that I talked to, and she was like, "Yeah, you can do this. You should go for it." And really, that has cleared a lot of those abandonment issues, the anger, and all of the other trauma that I have taken on in that kind of life. And and I've been serving all my life, but this type of service is really where I was going that entire time.
How beautiful to
Yeah.
meet you and feel your story and
Thank you.
just the heart opening you've experienced.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
sweet. Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
Deborah?
We're going to meet with Deborah next. Oh, I'm looking there. Hi, Deborah. Hi, baby.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to see you. So you've come pretty far away from Europe to be with the TwinRay, and I know a little bit about your story from our beloved Scott. I know that you have a heart of devotion and that you have met other master teachers in your lifetime. You've been blessed to walk alongside some very bright souls, bright lights. And I'm just curious what you would share where you are now in this devotion with the TwinRay and how it's opening up your life.
Yes, well, thank you first for asking. And
Just speak up a little because they
Oh,
need
yeah.
to hear.
So yeah, I'm Deborah. I'm half German, half French, and grew up in Germany and was in a French school, and so I had absolutely non-spiritual beginning. I studied law and ended up in the biggest law firm in New York, and then I was head of marketing at Dior, and then 15 years ago my father passed away, and that was New Year's Eve, total shock in Switzerland. And so we as a family, we are basically based between Switzerland, Germany and France. And so that was such a and I had, again, I think similar to Ray, I was the eldest, and I had to take care of my family, of my father's business, I mean, like literally everything. And that was such a profound, that was 15 years ago, so we were quite young, and such a profound shock. I could not not sleep for days or weeks, but for months, literally. There was no way I could sleep. And that led me right away to a very, I think, pretty famous here in the US incarnation of the Divine Mother, who is Mother Mira, and based in Germany, from India and based in Germany. And she's the incarnation, one of the many incarnations of the Divine Mother, a very profound one since 1960, bringing down the Paramatman light, so really the light from the source. And many beloveds here know her, and I guess if you're watching this show, you have heard of her. It's, if you know the Hugging Amma, it's the same,
Same
right?
energy.
Yeah, and so I was right away in 2008 when I met her the first time. I knew I had looked into my soul's eyes, into God's eyes, and then I needed to know everything about her. And that happened, of course, exactly after my father had left his body. And you know, before that, I was living really this dream life in Paris and and everybody was like, you must be the happiest girl in the world. And I'm like, do you want it? Because I felt empty. I was never.
So the dream of the material world, like glamour, but the heart was not fulfilled.
I mean, we had it all, absolutely not. I'd always felt unfulfilled, you know, and.
How did your journey with Mother Mira bring you to the
TwinRay.
TwinRay?
So very beautiful question, thank you. And that's actually, so for Mother, so when I discovered who Mother was, I could not be of the highest devotion for her. And money was really not needed anymore. I left everything in Europe, and he had started to build a school in India 2010. And I just wanted to be there and help. And within a couple of months, I was basically helping to lead the entire school. And now being in that infinite light of an avatar, you know, of the Divine Mother, that was, of course, completely life-changing. And I did this for 5 years until COVID hit. So here I am, 2020, the school is closed. I'm back in Germany. My sister, in the meantime, has 2 beautiful girls. Instead of taking care of 1,500 kids, I'm there with those 2 beautiful angels. And there was no way I could go back to the industry, and I just took care of many, many kids in need in Germany. And the TwinRay came into my life online. and I listened to them, and I was like, that's absolutely beautiful. Everything you're saying, you know, and I went to Satya Sai Baba. I've been reading Sri Aurobindo since forever. And I was with Thich Nhat Hanh also. I learned so much from Thich Nhat Hanh. I just adore Thai.
So you heard the wisdom and the remembrance that they were bringing through, and it resonated so deeply. You're like, I have to come be with them. I have to come there.
Yeah, and it was, well, to tell the full truth, at the beginning I was like, okay, this is all beautiful, but there's nothing new for me, you know. And then, but somehow I was always drawn, like I had to, like, no, there's something more, Deborah, listen to it, listen to it. And then I was told, Deborah, in the month of May 2022, there is a spiritual master who's very high enlightened. And that meant for me a lot, because I have met so many already. And so I was like, and you know him already. And he's going to change your entire spiritual path that has been already very profound to a next level. I'm like,
I have a sense you're talking about someone we all know. Yes.
And I was like, what? Who's coming back into my life? And then in January 2020, SanandaJi was saying we have one more spot at the retreat in May. And that was not Philosopher's Stone, well, the retreat in May here in Ashland. And I'm like, you are the one. Okay, so I better come. And I had not taken one class, nothing. But and then of course, when I was sitting, the first second I was sitting in front of them, I immediately recognized who they were. And
I think this is important, because you first said, you know, it's not that I haven't already studied with great masters or heard the wisdom that's coming through. It's the frequency. It's like the energy that you sensed. And I think that's a really big distinction, where you feel something so palpably. Yeah. So thank you for sharing this.
Well, that's my great pleasure. And from then onwards, it was just really clear the first second that was my dharma. And also I had the great chance now in Maui to speak to them one-on-one about it. And I just want to finish this by saying, SanandaJi was like, she's one of us. I'm like, I know she's one of you. And then I was just like, but then she always knew that I would come to you. Yes, she always knew.
Mother Mira. Yes.
So she prepared me basically for this unbelievable, infinite.
Right. And now you're in such service to the community, to the school eventually. There's so much more we could talk about. I know Scott's already whispered to me, not so long with each person. So it's wonderful to get to hear your story, and so sweet to meet you.
Yeah, same. Thank you so much.
All these people is so amazing. And I want to remind everybody that you can learn all about the TwinRay community by going to TwinRay.com. There's a lot of different ways to get started. They're offering a lot of different courses, some of which are free. Definitely take the Golden Age Ascension Kit quiz. It's a lot of fun. They have programs, courses. I've gotten so much out of the Miracle Mentorship Program, which I do. And so go to TwinRay.com. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, a big thank you to John and Summer Raymer, who get us out to 150 or more Facebook groups and pages. Still come on into the Zoom room. We're going to be here for at least another 2 hours. We've got more interviews. We might be seeing our beloved TwinRay. It looks like they might have a feeling they might pop in. And we've got more music, including music with Omashar, but just a reminder again that you can join the Global Peace Tribe really easily. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, click the register button. You can learn all about who we are and what we do. Click the registration button. You'll get the Zoom rooms for tonight. And the password is love, all capital letters. Password is love. One of our friends missed that. So come and join us. Come on into the Zoom room. And I am now going to turn it over to my co-pilot, my beloved brother, Omashar, for his first song of the evening.
Namaste, beloveds. What a blessing to be with you all. I feel like I'm there in the haven, in that room. The cells in my body are buzzing, so I better just get on and sing. So.
What if we could find a way to wipe away all tears and fears, all broken hearts, to clear the way for a brand new start? Now that we see and know the way to lift our day and shine the light for all to see, the way back home and the way to be free. Let our love lead the way. Let the light shine through all. Let our hearts and minds be free. As we rise up from the fall, there is a way to see again, to be again, to know the truth and smile again. With an open heart we feel safe again. And now that we're free and we see that the way is to let our love show us a new way to be, and we relish the chance to be part of the dance that will recreate the world anew. Now that we see and know the way to lift our day and shine the night for all to see, the way back home and the way to be free. Let our love lead the way. Let the light shine through all. Let our hearts and minds be free. As we rise up from the fall, there is a way to see again, to be again, to know the truth and smile again. With an open heart we feel safe again.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. That's all Twinkle.
Thank you so
Great
much.
gallery view.
There is so much energy coursing through my body because of the gathering tonight. I I had to think of hematite to stay grounded.
Well, it's beautiful. And Eden, make sure you got your camera back on because somehow it got turned off. There you are. Okay,
And
fabulous.
unmute. There we go. Perfect.
There we go.
Here we are. Okay. Wow. So maybe you need to mute now. Little feedback in the room. So I'm here now with Maya and Jeffrey, who I had the pleasure of meeting on an epic hike, which I heard was really rare, that we got to spend this time with SanandaJi up close, personal, outside of a retreat today. And that was really special. And I had the wonderful opportunity to walk down with you and dive really deep and learn a little bit about your story and just the depth of the connection you two have and how coming together with the TwinRay has really amplified this and your spiritual practice. And I just love you to share anything that you feel would be inspiring, moving, and impactful for the community and the audience tonight. What could you share about this journey you've been on?
Thank you. I mean, there's so much to share. There's been many different initiations we have been really blessed to receive in the presence of SanandaJi and ShekinahMa. And really related to Deborah, we've also not new to the path. We've gone very, very deep with other masters and other practices and did a lot of work individually before we met and really recognized each other upon meeting, that we were really the life partner, twin flame, dharmic partners for life that we'd been calling in and really cultivating for many years to receive each other. But even in that deep recognition, you know, there's still layers of refinement of how to fly together. We talk about
two wings of the same bird flying together.
Got to be going the same direction.
Yeah,
for sure.
At first we were hatchling.
A little awkward, a little
An adolescent bird, probably in the adolescent phase, but we are learning quickly. We are, and actually, as Risha and Brian said, like just having a model of a divine union couple, that was the initial attraction into this, into the first, just taking some online courses of the TwinRay, but like, wow, there's a model of divine union that's at such a high fractal. We wanted to learn from that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and learning from that, I mean, we dove into, we got the blessing of going into a retreat with them. And we had prepared for months, actually, going deep into fasting and cleansing and 10-day silent vipassanas and deep work in the Amazon, and just really clearing ourselves out. With our biggest prayer was really bringing in a family, and we've been feeling that call to have a conscious conception and bring a soul in that's not being imprinted by the karmas of the world, by, you know, all the challenges of our ancestors, but for us to really do the work to help bring in this new generation through liberating.
And to parent so consciously through presence and compassion and love, rather than the unconscious ripple of trauma again.
Yes.
Wow, that's a very noble ask and practice for you.
Yes.
Wow.
And so we've gone really deep as a devotional practice to really clear these vessels, our minds, hearts, and bodies.
Yeah.
And we just were able to do that at a profound level with them. And this is after having experienced miraculous healings in the King's Chamber of Egypt and the Great Pyramid.
With them or
before them?
Okay.
There was all these initiations we'd had that were almost like seeds of preparation of what was possible. And then when we were at the feet of these masters and deeply being held in ceremony, everything started to click. It was like everything, past lives, everything I'd ever worked on, it was just a full recognition of what was possible, how quickly we can completely transform our human imprint through tuning in to our future selves, to our highest selves, to our original imprint, And they talk a lot about genetic liberation and what's possible at a cellular level. And we've gotten to taste that and really experience that. I came into working with them with essentially a growth in my womb and cysts in my ovaries. And I had tuned into just deep grief that I was carrying from my ancestral matriarchal line that I'd come in to help really repair and release. And with all the tools that I had, I was still struggling with really releasing that. And it was in Maui with the beloveds that they really empowered me, like with a remembrance of the healing capacity that I was already carrying, as well as what they were overlighting. And I just literally through a deep Ho'oponopono forgiveness prayer went in there and just embraced all of it as a gift. Embraced all of it as like, yes, I feel the struggle of my ancestors, and I feel the struggle that I've had in this life, and it's all been a gift because it's helped me cultivate the deepest compassion for just our human experience and how much of a struggle we've all, undertaken in this dimension of density, where we're really here to remember who we truly are.
Has the physical manifestation shifted since that deep Ho'oponopono forgiveness?
Yes, I mean, so I'd never experienced so much light entering my being, and it was actually coming through my connection with them, with the field, my heart, but then actually through my hands. My hands were burning, and so much light was entering my womb, and I felt the shift of release. It was just nothing short of, I felt the river of grace just enter my being and release all of it. And I'd been carrying a lot of pain and also autoimmune dysfunctions and a lot of health conditions, and all of it was just cleared. And I felt the imprint of wholeness, just perfection, wholeness. But it wasn't like I was feeling like, oh, I've healed an illness. I felt like I returned to who I really am.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Like who we really are is perfect, whole, and complete.
Yes.
Who we really are is grace and divinity and spirit coming through into this physical form. Like who we really are is love.
Yeah. It's like shedding all those layers of illusion that we're covering over.
Exactly.
I'm just holding this divine conception and so much love and yes to that. And we're all just celebrating this beauty.
Thank you.
So good. So good. Beautiful. Thank you. Is there anything else in closing that you would add, Jeffrey, just in what you've witnessed? And
I've witnessed these just profound healing experiences and deepening experiences for Maya, and then myself. I've been on a journey of, you could say, healing my mind. Having like the first 40 plus years of my life just been very much in a field of anxiety and attention deficit disorder, and there's been some profound healing around that. But then now it's more of cultivation of the mind, of quieting the mind, so there's, people talk about the monkey mind and their challenges with meditation. So it's stilling it. And I've been finding like a new spaciousness in my mind since working with the TwinRay, and particularly once we moved here. Moving can be challenging and stressful, and adapting to new place and new home. And we had the fortune to have a meeting one-on-one with the beloveds, and it's not even anything specific that's said. It's just an energetic transmission, being in the presence, being in their field, and
I got to experience that. I know now. I know
what were streams of negative thoughts in the first few weeks here just stopped and faded away, and a greater depth of peace and just a trust. And ever since, really, especially the last 6 weeks or so, there's been a slipstream we've been in, and an acceleration in our life, and a real upward spiraling. I mean, our whole relationship together has been an upward spiral. That's even in the wedding rings built into our design.
Beautiful.
That just the synchronicities are coming very fast.
We're in a quickening of the slipstream, being in their presence and them really collaborating with us actually on our dharmic work and projects, and such a blessing. It's just like the field that we feel them transmit is like kind of like the wind under our wings that's been stabilized our flight, but more than that, like has had us just take off.
So one of the things the beloveds do, and not just for us, for really everyone in our community, is that they do something called overlighting.
Overlighting. I haven't heard that phrase before.
Yeah.
It's beautiful sounding.
And so, I mean, should ask them exactly their definition, but my understanding is like it's they're putting their conscious awareness on our field and for the highest timeline. And so they have, we've shared our heart's prayers and, the work we're doing in the world, our Dharma mission, and they're fully supportive and overlighting. And there's times I just feel their presence and
feel the grace.
Synchronicities showing up halfway around the world. And when I'm halfway around the world physically, and it's just incredible to have that sense of support. And really, like, it feels like you have the whole universe at your back.
Amazing.
In support of you.
And I would say that fractals out to the community. I feel like we all have each other's backs here, and we're all
I've
in it
sensed
together.
that. I really felt that
And
in a short time.
I felt we had such a warm welcome coming and moving here, and also just deepening. And we're not meant to do this alone. And the new Messiah really is not, one being, a singular being, or even a twin flame being. It's actually the community. It's the Sangha.
And they speak this as well.
This is exactly what they've been teaching.
That really touches my heart, that it's not just about one guru. It's the we are here now in love. So beautiful. Thank you two so much.
Yeah. May we all rise in love together.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful.
Everybody, we've heard from Deborah and others about all the wisdom of different teachers. And so I'm going to play Wisdom Jewels. You remember the Wisdom Jewels that Jay Mayer and Jan would create? Well, this is a Wisdom Jewel where we get to hear wisdom from some of our other favorite spiritual teachers. And then we'll be back where Eden is going to be interviewing a wonderful younger woman who's here named Cher. But let's go to some Wisdom Jewels. Come on. Now, for some reason, it's not playing. Let's try again. The technology. Hopefully, it's going to play this time. It's a really fun one, too. You might remember this from before. Let's see if it plays this time. There we go. Thank you so much, Jay Mayer and Jane Kaplan, for those beautiful wisdom jewels. We're going to hear a little bit more from Light Touch later on. And I'm going to turn it back over to Eden for the next presenter, or next interview, I should say.
All right, welcome back. We have with us Cher. Nice to meet you, Cher. I just met you this evening here at Haven. And you have told me that you're the newest member of this Sangha, this community.
Yes.
So I'm so excited to hear what drew you to it, how you knew it was for you, and what your personal transformation has been since joining.
Yes, thank you, Eden. I'm deeply honored and grateful to be here, and it came to me. It called me, and quite literally, I received a call from one of the beloved Kemi in our community, and it was kind of mysterious. She told me, I have a job opportunity for you. She's like, I met this wonderful couple. It was such a shrouded in mystery when I heard about it. It's like, okay, sure. I love her and I trusted her and I've worked with her in the past. So I didn't hear anything for a couple of months. And then she said, okay, I think we have space for you. Can you come to Ashland? She's like, if they want to meet you. And I thought, all right. I booked a one-way and I thought, oh, I'll just be here for a week. And I got vortexed in and stayed here for 2 months. And I typically am skeptical. I've been on the spiritual journey for a decade, but I'm pretty skeptically minded. And so I came in open and trusting what was calling me, but not expecting anything, not knowing what to expect. And their presence and the community's presence being welcomed by everyone, that it at first a little overwhelming, but at the same time so safe because everyone was so kind. And over time, really feeling that core of love was anchored with everyone. It wasn't just on the surface.
It's sincere.
It really is.
I've been feeling that in a very short time here.
Yeah.
Everyone I meet is sincerely open-hearted and embracing of me. So I can imagine your experience too.
Yeah, it was really powerful because even that, it was like, well, it's easy to be nice to each other at first, but even over time, it was stronger. It wasn't just the love, it was integrity, and the value that everyone holds is uplifting and transforming you. And so it was an alchemical process, I think, to experience being with everyone. And
it's such a testament or testimony to the TwinRay, because not all spiritual communities are like that. There's often little pecking orders or, gossipy stuff. And so it's very rare and different.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because that was my first thought. Was I've been in spiritual communities before, and I actually left, and I had took a year away from it, and actually feeling distant from it. I had somewhat of an aversion, actually.
Like a disillusion.
Yeah. And so coming back in, there was that caution, but just being shown deeper layers of it. It was really real.
So for a person like you who is open, that being said, a bit cautious, skeptical, had been disillusioned, you felt the sincerity, the integrity, and the love of this community. And with the TwinRay, what has your personal kind of wow been, your experience?
Well, the first was the sitting down with them and feeling their presence. And it was when they did a quick healing, I asked, they said, how can we be in service to you at the end of our meeting? I didn't know what to say. And to be honest, I woke up with a kink in my neck that morning. And I just said, I have this kink in my neck. Could you help me? And I felt it. It was strong. It was, like receiving an energy healing, but it was powerful. And that definitely blew me away at first. And another part of it was sensing their presence over time, like feeling them come to me and guide me with so much love.
Is that like that overlighting that they were speaking of?
Yeah, it's in the group healings here, I will sense them sometimes, especially ShekinahMa. She's really helped me with acknowledging myself and practicing unconditional love. And
say a little bit more right there. You said something about acknowledging myself. Would you say that she's helped you find deeper self-love?
Yes, Yeah, it was my second group healing here in the space where I felt her come in and tell me to acknowledge myself. And every time I think about it, I get emotional because it was really powerful. And I was crying here for like 20 minutes. And it made me realize that I never acknowledged myself. And it was so simple. I just said, "You're doing a really good job." And it was really powerful. And
Like for you to receive that love from within, like ShekinahMa as the Divine Mother coming through your own inner voice and feeling that self-love, that unconditional recognition of your goodness, your enoughness. Yeah.
And it was so simple. I think that's what it is on the surface. I believe Deborah said that, the teachings they sound so simple, but I think we know the most profound truths are really simple. And here I find I've been experiencing it and noticing it in myself, noticing how it's really shifted my center and my relationship with myself. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's profound to feel that, and just the openness of your heart to this love. And that's the miracle, right? That's the healer. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's bring up Norman.
we're
And
gonna-
while Norman's coming up, make sure everybody you stay tuned. We're going to hear 2 more interviews, and we have something very special that I think you're all going to love. It's going to be very special. And then we're going to close with the group healing. We'll also have one more kirtan from Maggie and another song from Oshar. So we've got a lot going on. All right, we're going to go back to Eden. Here's Norman.
Hi, Norman. Nice to meet you. I saw you up here earlier in total selfless service, just preparing before everybody got here. And I could feel your devotion to this event, to the space, to the TwinRay. And yeah, just that selfless service to love and serve is emanating from you. So what would you share about your personal transformation, your experience since being a part of this community? How has this impacted your life?
A lot, greatly. When you follow and you become a student of SanandaJi and ShekinahMa, you go through very fast and quick transformation. They're literally the fastest way to get to where we all want to get. And so since I've met them, I've taken pretty much all their courses, and I've attended many retreats, and all I've seen is vast transformation of my consciousness. And there's many paths that they talk about and share to where we want to go. And one of them is what I've learned is selfless service. And it just sounds simple, but you get so much out of it. It's like a hot knife through butter when you and now it just becomes normal. Just like you saw me earlier, we're all just working together. And that's how it happens. You uncondition the mind from thinking that you have to, be reimbursed, get paid and all that stuff. But there's something, lacking when you do that. But here's a community, we all just selflessly give as much as we can. And after a while, it just becomes normal. And then you realize that kind of giving and loving is part of the definition of love. What love is just giving selflessly. And it's just, it's just
I so sense that in you.
Yeah, it's very important. And you only get it by being in a community like that. So this is what I've really gotten from being here. And it's a gift. It's a gift, actually.
Yeah. So many people are looking from the eye of lack and ego and what's in it for me and what can I get? And what I'm sensing is this expression, to serve is to know joy. To serve is actually to receive great joy when it's a community like this for such a high purpose. And is there anything else you would share about what you were like before opening this heart so big and knowing this selfless service? Were you struggling with relationship? Were you struggling with your place and purpose? What has this given you compared to the before and after?
Yeah, and it's all part of losing the self. What you'll learn here is the self will just melt away. And that's part of the selfless service. And yeah, that's what I've learned. That's what I've got from it. The ego just slowly disappears and you just become, selfless server, just a witness and everything. And that's
Like, I
part
don't
of,
even want to talk about the past.
yeah, and that's
done.
yeah, that's part of, yeah, that's part of what love is. Love is just melting into oneness and losing the ego. The ego slowly, yeah, the ego is one of the things that has to go away. And this is like an expedited path. Selfless service is an expedited path because when you first start doing it, you realize stuff comes up. The conditioning comes up. We believe that we're just our consciousness, but we're also our unconsciousness. And the subconsciousness starts creeping up, and little thoughts come up that wouldn't have come up if you wasn't doing that work for free. And then as you're doing work for free, the little noise in your subconscious gets louder and louder, and you start hearing, it goes, wow, I've got to let go of all that.
Yeah, SanandaJi said something really profound to me last night when I asked, how do I remain anchored in my heart and support others in my community to come back to heart-centered awareness? And he said something very simple but profound. He said, think with the heart and feel with the mind. And I sense that as you're witnessing your subconscious, it's like you're cleaning up your thought forms and choosing to give your mind your heart again and again and coming more from there.
Yeah, it's just practice over and over again until you just get conditioned into being very loving. And it's good that you mentioned this, but being here in this community, you get to be around these masters and they're always sharing these beautiful wisdom. There's challenges that come up. I want to share real quickly. One thing that came up with ShekinahMa was, I had an audience with her and I was like, why is everything going so fast? And she, without missing a beat, she says, if it wasn't going so fast, you'll be where you are much longer. We get little nuggets like that all the time. And that's like so deep.
Yeah. Was there part of you that was like, I need to pull the brakes? It's like, what's still coming? Yeah.
And
that's the mind.
They come
right?
from
The
this
ego.
aligned space and they know where we've been because they've been there and they could answer all of these questions very easily. And yeah, it's good to have that kind of guidance.
Beautiful. Nice to meet you, Norman.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our last interview for now is DJ TwinRay.
Welcome, beloved. I've had this awesome opportunity to connect with you before this and just felt the love, devotion, and cosmic connection you have to the TwinRay. And I'm just blown away by your selfless service, as Norman was talking about as well, as just how close you are with them, all the opportunities to serve in such a profound way where you get to hear their stories and be intimate through that recording of them. And I'm curious about your own transformation or activation to the next level, what you would choose to share with the community and with the awakening world that is your piece.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, Eden and Scott as well. And there's so much that is worthy of being shared that I feel is a force of inspiration for this planet. But in this very limited time that we have, I can just share a little bit about my personal journey and
speak up a little bit.
Yeah, and really what I've been really great at in this life prior to meeting our beautiful teacher masters was the masking of the deepest pains and wounds I've experienced throughout my entire childhood.
Mm-hmm. You're good at covering over them.
Yeah, and escapism. I was a master at that. And the beauty of this work and this path and truly walking this path was just all in with your heart and devotion, is that it has stripped me naked. It has peeled off all the masks. It has revealed my true self, which is the heart of a wounded child who experienced deep levels of unspeakable sexual abuse from the age of 3. And yet, just like the beautiful words of some of the beloveds here, that's been my greatest gift. It's beautiful, Maya, what you shared, because in the darkest moments of my life, I have learned from direct experience what compassion is and how I am here to share that with the world and share that with my beautiful community. And it's, I really offer all where I am today in this beautiful healing journey of my heart to the gentle care and embrace of the beloved masters of SanandaJi and ShekinahMa. Without them, there's just no way I'd be where I am right now. Really being so naked and authentic in front of my own self, in front of all of my aspects, being able to have an opportunity to love them back into love, into wholeness. You know, and so it's just been a really beautiful journey, like the last 5 years being an ascendant of them, just really witnessing the unfoldments of my life, all of these new realities and opportunities and experiences, all the retreats, all the connections with soul family members, remembrances of past lives, of incarnations in different star systems, like speaking with you and having such a deep heart resonance and a remembrance of you, of your soul signature, and everyone here really.
When you spoke about uncovering all the masks to see the heart of this wounded child, what I sense is that in loving that wounded heart, it becomes the divine child, it becomes the innocent heart, and there's nothing left to be ashamed of or hide, and that's freedom. So I just celebrate the gift that these masters have given you in their unconditional love, that the core wound is now the gift, that you can celebrate the opening where the light really gets all the way in, and just to feel you in your joy and your divinity, your innocence. That's one thing I was saying to Scott. I said, everyone feels so innocent, like divine child unicorns here. This beauty of the heart that's really palpable.
Yeah, beautifully said. You know, I think we're all in a way walking this journey, at least for me, like from the wounded child to the Christ child. And this path is beautiful in that way. You know, these are the greatest gifts. There's jewels here. You know, it is so profound and so precious, and it is so pure, like actually experiencing the purification of your heart, mind, and soul in the embodiment of it. Not through theoretic ideas of reading texts, the direct experience by receiving darshan from these ascended masters, truly, you know, and that's profound. And the only way I could go through this process was in the unconditional love in which they held me through it, in a way that my parents were never equipped to do so. And
because of their wounds, and then you have compassion for them. What a miracle. What a blessing.
Yeah, and so that's been so special and profound, and it's something that the guilt and shame that has been ridden my life, I feel I've carried this burden of so much shame my entire life, actually is alchemizing into wisdom. And it's also like profound to actually feel that and to start really letting go.
Thank you. Everyone's lit up. I can thank you, DJ, so much.
Only way we could top what he just shared, you talked about ascending masters, and I do see two
It's joy to see you.
You want to come here? Yes. No, go sit with them.
Really?
We had an A's family.
She came right over to you.
She
did.
The mascot's here.
The TwinRay mascot.
Yes. We've been hearing the most profound stories of healings, transformations, breakthroughs, the inspiration of your divine union that it's had on other twin flame couples. And you've been with us here now. What an honor that you came physically with the mascot here too.
Thank you.
So welcome, beloveds.
Thank you. It's beautiful to see you all.
What does this community mean to you?
Yeah. I wanted to ask about what true Sangha is for those who are watching and the power of that. What that is.
We've been feeling this great communion coming together, these hearts in this space and in this room, just merging, and all of your stories, so moving to us. It means everything. It is our breath, it is our reason that we come.
And sense that we had beloved Norman speaking about selfless service and what a joy it is to serve, to know that level of service through the love and service that you two are modeling.
Yeah, the reason for coming is to find your gift, which is your beautiful, bountiful heart, and then share that gift. Share that gift of your heart, share that gift of your love with all that can receive that. And the two words that really echo of the meaning of our Sangha, of our family, is Holy Communion. It's a Holy Communion coming together. Yeah. That means everything for us, and really just to see you all, to be with you all, and to share sacred presence together. It's amazing. The only thing that can save this world is love. And as we come together and we cultivate that love, and we shine that love, we be embodiments of that love. We be pillars for that love. That's what's going to stabilize and support the world. And that's why we're all here together.
A blessing. I've had such a short, very potent experience of the frequency here. And much like Mia, I was like, what's really going on up there? I don't know about this whole community. I've heard of spiritual communities where there's a lot of drama, and it's so different. It's so different. There's so much innocence, so much integrity, so much sincerity. Everyone has embraced me in love, absolute love. That's a testament to your ripple of pure love and high frequency transmission.
Thank you. And we got a chance to sit with you last night.
I shared a little bit about it. It was so profound. I didn't really know how to explain what I experienced. And SanandaJi asked me about my dream time, and I said, a lot of sacred geometry. So things are happening beyond the mind, beyond, like the activation is beyond my little self's awareness.
You touched on community and the potential thought form of drama, and there is importance to speak into the trauma that has been accumulated through different spiritual communities, and really what we feel is one of our missions and purposes is to remove that stigma from the idea of community, to have the purity return, the virtue return. Without true leadership, without the illumination of that leadership, through each one being a representative of that, communities can go astray. Heaven on earth can soon turn to hell on earth. When it comes to a community that's had all the right intentions, And where we live right now in Ashland, there's so much trauma from that very sense of the word community, being certain movements that have happened in a close vicinity. And so we're here.
We're going to heal that.
We're here to heal that. We're all here to heal that. We're here to remind people of what community really means. It's the common unity of goodness, of virtue, of love, and living in that together. It's what's more profound than that. You know, you can walk your path alone, and you can walk your path, and you can learn truth and realize that within yourself and open up your heart. But once that dawns upon you, there's nothing else to do besides live in the bliss and share that bliss with the ones that you love the most. And that can reflect that can uphold you to that and keep you accountable to that, remind you the love that you are, and demonstrate that. So to see you all doing that, it's touching. It really is. And it's just begun.
It's just begun. I know we had a precious opportunity to be with you on the earth, under the trees, and that was profound. And you spoke about this particular land and why you've come here. And just for our audience who has no idea how special this particular place is and why you've chosen it, is there anything you might share that, if it's of meaning, if it's worthwhile to say?
Yeah. Well, full disclosure, we had no idea about Ashland. Full disclosure.
Right. Been related to it.
Yeah, we really didn't. I mean, the closest we came was Shasta. We actually held a retreat in Shasta. And one night during that beautiful retreat, ShekinahMa just opens her eyes as she does and looks at me just with this direct transmission. It says, "Today we begin the build." And within what that meant was that today marks the day that we are going to manifest and build our community in a physical sense of the term. And it literally happened within a moon cycle.
3 weeks.
It's like 3 weeks.
All the forces conspired for this to be.
Yeah.
Miracles happened.
Yes. And from that, I mean, this is a really long story, but we'll give you the essence of it. From that, when we came here and we saw the property that had called us and presence with the land, we instantly recognized that this is it. And as we made that choice, these revelations occurred. The revelations occurred of certain prophecies that have been spoken about, and how this has been sacred lands. It's been sacred land for many, many years. It's been a white flag zone. Yeah, which what that means in First Nation traditions and different tribes is that this was a place where there would be no war, be a place of free trade and a place of healing, rejuvenation.
In a place where the tribes would come together during certain points and say, okay, this is where we find the Ahometakuase. This is where we find to honor all of my relations. And those moments are deeply seated within the earth. They're deeply seated within the story telling of the land itself. So as we showed up, we listened, we knew, we felt, we spoke with all the guardians, communicated and said, this is it. This is where we'll start.
Yeah. And there's also a prophecy of the rainbow bodies. So this valley where the Buddhist monastery was built and constructed, through this entire valley, it's prophesied that this would be the place on earth where 1,000 beings would reach rainbow body status. And if anyone knows anything about Tibetan Buddhism or Vajrayana Buddhism, Daughter Chang lineage, that the rainbow body is where there's a phenomenology where one cultivates alchemically the amount of light, where the body actually turns into a rainbow, where one can actually ascend the physical instruments. And there's over 160,000 case studies of this phenomenon happening.
And this just happens to be our specialty.
And this just happens to be the main thing that we focus on, which is inner cultivation. And why would one want to do that? Why would one want to turn into a rainbow? It sounds amazing, but why would you really want to do that? It's like, I feel like I don't really want to turn into a rainbow right now.
Is it connected to the rainbow light warriors that lift the frequency for one?
It's what it represents is, so it's returning the full prism of life into the light of God. And what happens is through that cultivation is basically your entire energy field, your auric field, and all your chakras, and all of the timelines that brought you to this sort of inception of this incarnation, they return. And what happens to that is a lot of physical, hello.
This is very rare, by the way. This is a very special, blessed animal that gets to do this.
She's a TwinRay mascot. Little Jasmine bear. And so, this is a time where we're moving in dimension. So we're becoming more identified with our energetic body. We're becoming more understood of how to operate this divine technology. And as you cultivate, you start transforming the heart and the mind to unify as one. And so then you become aware of the one true unbreaking reality that's always been there. You illuminate to that truth, you become illuminated by that truth as love. And through a deeper cultivation, you can actually take this body to a higher level where you don't have to come through the incarnational cycle again and go through the forgetting and go through the whole reincarnation, but you can actually consciously exit the body. You can consciously enter a body, and these things become empowering because you start awakening to the possibility of this inner technology. And it's the key to it all. It's all futile without love. And so coming together and cultivating that love together, the inner alchemy starts enhancing.
I'm so glad you said that it's all futile without love. I've had people ask me, how do I open my third eye? And my heart would instantly say, don't worry about that. Just open your heart.
And that third eye won't stay open if the heart isn't open anyway. So even if you do open your third eye for just a moment, you can catch a glimpse. It's like, we call it the trampoline effect. Jump on the trampoline and you go up and you can see over the cliffs or over whatever you're looking at, but then you come back down again. This is where the wisdom lies. This is where the intangible presence of divinity can only be felt when one opens the fullness of their heart and realizes that their heart is compassionate enough, loving enough, good enough, and pure enough to be able to be received and to transmit that love to everyone. And it's not about how they give that love back to you, because it's not about who they think they are. It's about who you are, and it's about who you see them to be, which is the purity, which is the diamond, even if they can't recognize that they are in fact a diamond.
Thank you for that so much. This feels like the core of when I've heard of what is Christ consciousness. That seeing is the eyes of the heart that you're referring to. That feels like the exact tone of that. When you beam me like this, my heart. Are you gonna do it to me on camera? It's such a profound biochemical feeling. I was trying to explain the fire that I felt in my heart last night. And I don't understand it with my mind, but I trust it. Thank you.
Yes, the Christ fire is the fire that does not burn, but it transforms you from the inside out. And Christ consciousness, this is the second coming right now. It's like where there's this massive wave of the awakening of unity consciousness, where one can actually return to that inner knowing of the purity of the hearts, the virtue of the hearts. And this is that time, this is that prophecy being fulfilled. And this is
the prophecy being fulfilled.
Yeah.
We are
Humanity, the true humanity. It's about returning back to the purity of the hearts, where it's not about becoming someone better or someone greater. It's about becoming what you already are, is that love, that pure, indescribable love, really. And it's a love that breaks down all the barriers around your heart. It dissolves all the barriers within your mind, dissolves the mind. The mind becomes futile. The mind retreats into the sacred center of the heart. And that's the love that every single being on this planet is searching for, is looking for. And they fill the empty void of the external world with distractions because they haven't been able to taste that nectar. And to come together in satsang, to sing to the heart. This is the greatest gift that we could ever receive, is to spend time with each one of you.
Yes.
Could we have a Maggie song? Can we do music on Saturday?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, Maggie, come on.
Beloved Maggie, please come
We would love
and
Maggie's song.
sing your sweetheart.
The hush will fit.
There is room for everyone. We will. Sweetheart.
Aw. It's truly an honor to play for everyone and with you too here. And I am not sure what song to sing.
Sing the one that goes to your heart. Right? You don't need to look at him.
Kadosh, Kadosh, Adonai, Sabaoth, Meloho Kovetz Kapieto, Leolam, Vahe, Adonai, Sabaoth, Meloho Kovetz Kapieto, Leolam, Vahe, Thou art holy, and thy name is holy, and all who are holy shall praise thee daily. Amen. Most holy. Oh Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow.
We got to really enjoy you, but the audience couldn't hear because the original sound was turned off. So would you do one more?
And just do a test to make sure that it works.
Okay,
We got to hear, but they didn't online.
so brother in front of the computer, top left hand of the front screen, it says original sound.
Original sounds turned on.
Thank you, beloved. Was it already turned on? Or?
Yes, it is already saying original sound, high fidelity music mode.
No, yeah, so on the
Actually.
open front screen, it needs to be on. Go back to the regular screen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So now on the regular screen, on the top left, there's a black bar. Does it say on that?
Can you hear the guitar?
No. You got to click that. There's a little black bar on the top left. Click it so it says on.
Volume somehow got turned down. It's automatic. Okay.
No, you got to get out of preferences.
Preferences that use just a screen.
You need to go back to the original screen, not the preferences, and then the top left, there's a black bar which will tell you if it's on or off.
Looking.
Not in preferences.
Right, yeah, I've closed the preferences.
On the regular screen on the top left, there's a black bar. It'll say off or on, original sound for musicians.
It was off.
Right.
Okay, it's on now.
Now it's good. We can hear you, Maggie. Yay! We love you. Well, we felt you anyway, so take two.
I want to say something about our little angel Magicorn right here, baby unicorn. This angel is self-taught. She taught herself how to play the guitar, and she also, I remember when she first wanted to sing.
This is true. I could not sing at all. And I went to ShekinahMa's house one day and I told her I really wanted to sing. And it was, from my perspective, straight from a fairy tale. She was just like, can you just sing do, re, mi, fa, so? And I was like, like I literally can't. It was like do. And she just started snapping her fingers and doing clearings. And she gave me so many gifts, and this is one of the best gifts you've ever given me, and I'm so, so grateful. I love you too. Aww. So we'll do a song that we all know, Shri-Ma, Jai-Ma, Holy Ma, to the Divine Mother. And this is a song written by someone in Utah. I don't know their name, and we changed it a little bit. She's gonna cry. Shri-Ma, Jai-Ma, Holy Ma. Shri-Ma, Jai-Ma,
One more time for Maggie. Mia, would you like to come up and maybe you can all talk about introducing the KES and what that is?
Okay.
Beautiful. So let's just jump right into it.
Please tell us what the K is.
I shall.
myself.
I think you've introduced it more times than we have.
I
think
think
you
so.
do an excellent job.
I think so. Thank you. You know, this saved my life, truly, truly. You know, I was living such a shallow life, like many people, very unawakened, in and out of consciousness all of my life. And through this beautiful, harmonious, forced awakening, my beautiful empathic abilities opened up to a point where it was really difficult to navigate life until I met both of you. And I think I cried with Mother ShekinahMa every time I saw her, every single time. And then they brought this beautiful Christic energy system back from the future. And it was like a remembrance for me, actually. It just became so innate. I understood it. I could breathe it. I could be it. I could understand it and use it. And it felt so not just profound within me, but I got to watch the miracles with every being that also got to experience this amazing system that both of you brought forward. It goes beyond time and space. It's this field of energy that expresses both ShekinahMa and SanandaJi. It's like sitting between them in this unified field when you just hold the space for either an individual or that of a group. And it's just a pure love of pure grace, of pure compassion. It's like this divine peace that just flows from anyone that is so fortunate enough to be able to share with another person. And again, all of us get to not just receive this from our beloved masters, our beloved teachers, but to be able to use it and embody it and share it with the world. It's selfless. It's profound. It's a remembrance. It's a sharing and a receiving at the same time. And not only Christic energy, this Christic energy system, but also biodivinity, as we have been so blessed to receive as well. This, after my empathic abilities opened up and were very difficult to contain, my emotions, I didn't know if any of them were my emotions or another person's emotions, and I know many of the viewers are empaths, and it can be a very difficult life emotionally. Okay. And when you have systems such as this, as when you have teachings, when you get to practice and master, you come into this stillness, and I keep saying it's the unified field. It's within that stillness point where there's no you, there is no another. It's just this one space, this beyond time. It's within the spirit of all that is connected, and magic and miracles happen. And you can feel the overlighting, you can feel the love coming through, you can feel the healing, you can feel the grace. And you can feel the heat. you can definitely feel the purification, but without it, where would we be? I think everyone in this room has experienced it. Where would we be? It's using these profound programs or systems that allow us to unravel, as my beloved brother DJ said, taking off those masks, unraveling to the most vulnerable part of yourself, to the most authentic expression of yourself. And we're not going to say it's easy, but we are going to say that you're held in such compassion and love that it's easy to surrender. It's easy to trust. It's easy to let go when you're held in the arms of beloved ShekinahMa and SanandaJi. So from the depths of my heart, I thank you so very much. Thank you for allowing us to be of service, giving us these opportunities.
Oh, it's our greatest honor. You know, every system, the one thing that we love about KS is that it's also designed to help your own ascension. It's designed to help your own cultivation. A lot of times, certain energy systems can deplete you, and this is designed to recharge your own battery. And we emphasize that a lot. And ultimately, this is about bringing out the mastery inside you. It's like molding this divine human gift that is this temple into a field of coherency, into an awakened technology that can help support and channel such miracles. And you are that miracle. But it takes sometimes pulling those veils back and unveiling yourself and unveiling another to wake up to that truth of the miracle within. And so all of this is designed to attune you to that Christ consciousness, to the cosmic Christ, that energy that is so familiar. It's the nearest and dearest. It's your home. And when you taste that, when you feel that, even if it's for a moment, you'll never forget it.
You'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And its intention is to consistently connect you with your higher self, with your greater intelligence, so that you're never depleted. You are always raised, you are always uplifted, you are always upheld through the healing work, through working with all of the people in the group or the one-on-one session. There's an instant reciprocity that comes back that then uplifts everyone. And it's also designed to help ascend what we call the esoteric age. Would you want to explain that?
Essentially, there's an age of the soul. So as your soul develops and matures, just as you have a biological age, you also have a spiritual age. And so through higher coherence, higher cultivation, a higher light quotient, it's not so much to save your soul, it's to grow your soul. And as you grow your soul, as you grow the light of it, the ultimate aim is to return the soul as a drop of water back to the ocean of spirit and return back to that. And so through the age, it's basically a sort of a metric of also how old a planet is and the systems that govern the planet, how the systems that govern our solar system, our universe. And our soul is also a reflection of that. And so as you go through that ascending spiral, then you increase that age, and what that represents is a higher coherence of light. And when you have mastery of this equipment, when you know, many people don't even know where their liver is, or don't even know where their adrenals are, or don't even know where their pancreas is. But when you understand, oh, actually, each one of your organs is actually connected to a different aspect of the universe, and your body is a fractal expression of the universe, and your soul descends into this plane of existence, and the whole design of this is to ascend out of this, to have full mastery and freedom. You can, through biomimicry, you can mimic those processes, those universal processes, to cultivate that within the physical body. And as you do that, the benefits, the phenomenology that happens, you start secreting new hormones, you start secreting.
New biochemistry.
Yeah, and you start up-regulating your DNA. And when your DNA starts unlocking itself, all these gifts that are laying dormant within your hearts and the heart of your soul start opening up. And you start being freed from the very causal conditioning and the programming that has been controlling your script of life. You start becoming more of a creator of the life that you were truly born to live. And so all of this is to help become what you truly are by removing or unlearning all that you truly are not.
So your esoteric age is more about the age of the soul, the lifetimes that you've lived in a compilation, that then as you continue to do the work, as you continue to do the sessions, it starts bringing that esoteric age into an embodied form that thus allows you to expand more. We talk about the light body, we talk about the rainbow body, and that's what it's helping you to do. That's why the embodiment of the soul is one thing, but when you start to pull in the ages and the experiences, then you start to have your gifts come online. Then you start to be able to experience what everybody's really here for. And we have made promises at the depths and core of our being to do all we can to bring everybody with ears to hear and eyes to see and a heart to feel to that space again, to return home, truly return back home and remember who you are, truly. And there's this simplicity there, there's this impeccability there. It's pristine. Nothing to add, nothing that could ever be taken away.
When you're in this cultivation of what we keep speaking about as a light body, when you cultivate that, when you understand that, and when you learn the sacred science and teachings of that, that affords you the benefits for the mind to be completely stable and still. It's like you reprogram the mind so it's no longer taking you down these paths that are pulling you away from that present moment. When you cultivate that, the light body is actually just an extension of your heart. It's just a toroidal field of your heart. So you just become one giant heart. So we're just turning you into one big heart.
That's just one brilliant, radiant power of love.
And you know, you're not your body, but you have one, so you might as well learn how to master it.
That's right. Not just your body.
Yeah, you're not just your body, you're not just your mind, but you might as well master it. And because when you have that level of mastery, then you can perceive and receive the ultimate reality. And when you taste that bliss, when you taste that love, you never want to.
There's nothing else.
You never want to waste your energy or focus on anything else, because you know that the only reason that you came here to play this whole game of life was to win the game of love.
That is impeccable. I will share as well that with all of your courses and all of your programs and all of your wisdom teachings and satsangs, how they all like begin to weave together. They are one, but you know, they can be in their own essence in and of themselves, but then they weave together. And I've done hundreds and hundreds of healings, and I've noted that, and now I'm in the astrology class. I've been in that, and I've noticed that it doesn't matter who that I hold space for in a healing chamber around the world, that it comes, there's patternings that happen based on those astrological alignments. And so when you have the broad spectrum of your wisdom, that we're all afforded, that everyone can do, then you begin to see in like a bird's eye view, begin to see all of the patterning. You begin to be able to assist people, help people to align to those beautiful beings that are here for all of us, and know when you can really have the most magic and the most miracle. And so it's really interesting to see how those patterns of the collective wound come up during some of those astrological alignments, with whether it's an individual or a group.
Yeah, it's all connected.
I'm reminded of when beloved Mia first came to us. Where you've come from and who you are now.
Yes, and my heart was closed.
Heart was closed.
I was living in that 3D.
No. And I remember I went like this to your heart, and I was just like, it just is waiting to blossom open, and your heart is now pouring open.
Poured open.
Pouring open.
Yes. Thank you. To feel both of your hearts and your love is the world to me. I know the world to us. We can't do it without you. We won't do it without you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. I feel so fortunate to get to sit here again with you. And yeah, I'm aware that our audience online is having a little bit of a trouble hearing. So just to project a little bit louder, because there's so many beloveds that are just hanging on, what are they really saying? It's so beautiful. So,
It's such a joy to be with you all.
yeah.
The camera's there and I'm looking
down.
But we can see you here.
So, Scott, I'm wondering if there's any questions from the audience, from the awakening world, anything after feeling the joy, the love of this community, anything that you would love to hear from the TwinRay on this evening.
Well, the last 15 comments have been, can we hear louder?
Besides louder, if there's anything in your hearts for these beloveds, it's such a rare and precious opportunity to hear their wisdom. And, I asked SanandaJi last night for my own heart and for my community how to anchor more of this love, this light. And you said something so simple yet so profound. And I'm wondering if you would share again what, yeah.
And, Mark is making a suggestion. Move the directional mic towards ShekinahMa.
It's right in front of her. It's right there.
Just want to mention, thank you all the beloveds that are online, being so patient with us, even with the sound sort of coming in and out. Honestly, for us, we just want to hear from everybody else besides us. we want to hear from our beautiful community, and that's what's so touching for us. And we want to hear from each one of you. Each one of you have a song to sing in your hearts and a story to tell. What we shared simply with beloved Eden last evening was that one of the key teachings in our sort of community mantra, one of our favorite teachings. It's simple. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's simple. There's a big difference between easy and simple.
And it changes the polarity. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Nod.
Better?
Nod.
Better?
Yes.
Yeah. Yay.
Yes. Okay. Good. So the whole thing with there's two paths of spirituality. There's many paths. There's infinite paths, in fact, but they all sort of boil down to two ways of approaching those infinite paths. We sort of teach the four paths of path of love, path of divine service, path of alchemy, and path of truth. But there's two ways to approach that, and one way is sort of negation. So that's the sort of more the teachings from the East, which is that neti, like not this, not that, not this, not that. So that's this negation to what is the self, what is the divine. There's another way, which is cultivation, which is cultivating light, which is cultivating the coherence of love. It's cultivating the virtue. And through that cultivation, it expands you, it opens you. And one of the key ways to apply that teaching is to think with your heart and feel with your mind. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Well, hang on. How do we do that? How do you think with your heart, and how do you feel with your minds? You know, it's sort of one of those.
You first have to trust your heart.
Yeah, you do, and it's a bit
That's
of
the first step.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a paradox because you try to work it out with your mind straight away. You try to okay, how am I going to do this exactly? And you sort of enter into it with trying to think your way through it with your mind. So the easiest way to feel with your minds is actually not to negate thoughts, but to think loving thoughts. You know, to remember the love that you have for others, or anyone that inspires that love, or that nature inspires that, or a memory or a moment that sort of inspires that. And that has the power to tap you into your heart. And when you change your field of reference, like you look out through your eyes and you feel like the eye is sort of behind your eyes, somewhere in the skull, and you sort of think of this sense of eye behind here somewhere. Well, when you drop your frame of reference down from your head into your heart, your frame of reference becomes more unified and spherical. You become this more sphere of your fields because you tap into your heart's toroidal field. And so it's no longer polarized between the left and right hemisphere. It's more unified. But when you do that, sometimes there's a lot of pain that comes up. You know, sometimes you don't trust your heart because of maybe being heartbroken, or maybe not being taught what love really is, and thinking love is some romantic exchange of, okay, well, if I give this, I'll get this. And, you know, there's been a lot of wounding.
That's not love, that's transaction.
Yeah, but many don't realize what that transactional love is. So teaching yourself how to love again is really the first step. And when you do that, then thinking with the heart becomes automatic. And the mind and heart aren't separate. But the biggest journey that anyone can really make is that journey from the head to the heart. And when you do make that journey, there's a miracle that happens, and your heart and mind start unifying as one. And so thinking with the heart is always making a choice. What would love do? You know, what would love do in this moment, really? You know, and when you do that, really, you don't just go, okay, what will love do? But I'm going to do this anyway. You know, but you actually, okay, what will love do? And I follow through with that inspired action. Then there's this confirmation that arises, you know, and sometimes it takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of reminding yourself, you know, how do I stay in this state of like love and bliss and all this magic that everyone's talking about and this community is expressing, but how do I stay there? Well, when you become so familiar with your heart, you become so authentic with your heart, so transparent with your heart, so vulnerable with your heart, maybe to the point that brings you to your hands and knees.
Oh, it will.
Maybe to the point where, you know, your whole life crumbles around you, and you just really just take it all away if it brings me away from love. And when you get to that point, then you're ready to really stay there. You know? And that's one of the most treasured and most hardest truths to swallow, is like, are you prepared to really allow everything to be taken away from you, anything that takes you away from God? Are you? You know, it's a big question. It's like, oh, maybe next year.
Is this when people talk about renunciation, is that the
The true meaning of renunciation.
Yeah, it's an inner renunciation.
It's an inner renunciation.
You know, it's actually harder to renounce the external and from the internal reality than it is to sort of go to a monastery or to go to the mountains or go in the caves.
Go to the caves.
And you know, that's sort of an easier path, you know. But really to renounce life. And what does that really mean? It means that when you fully embrace life to its fullest, doesn't mean you become like aloof and like, I don't care, or just sort of like detached, but not really. But when you become really authentic and go, you know, I'm going to embrace the fullest of my life. I'm going to embrace the bliss. I'm going to embrace the pain. I'm going to embrace every single thing, but I'm not going to be attached to the outcome. I'm not going to be invested in the outcome of that pain. I'm not going to be invested in the outcome of that joy. Well, what happens is that you don't find joy. You actually just unmask the joy that's waiting inside you, because you are joy. You are happiness. You can't ever attain something that you already are. When you start trying to attain something externally because you forgot, then it leads you down a path of separation. And so, yeah, inner renunciation is renouncing your investment to life, but fully embracing life through the love that you are.
Beautiful.
This reminds me of when we speak of thinking with your heart and feeling with your mind. This reminds me of the masculine and the feminine. Can everyone hear me? Yes? Good, thank you. This reminds me of the masculine and the feminine, because the job of the masculine is to surrender to the feminine.
Completely.
Completely. And the job of the feminine, and this is where the greatest wounds have been, is to trust the masculine. And when? And so if we start to see the heart just for now as feminine and the mind just for now as masculine, we start to understand that when there is that surrender, when there is that trust, they combine into this grand coherence, into something that removes even the patterns of thought. It removes the lower mind altogether, so that you are in fact transmitting from something that I would even say is greater than the higher mind. It doesn't have those names any longer. They're intangible awareness that emerges. And so when you asked me that same question last night, what I felt was, let your love be greater than your fear. No matter what.
And the trick to do that is to love your fear. Yeah.
So paradoxical. It's like people want to suppress, avoid, deny, use addictions to not feel the fear. And then the fear seems to grab the steering wheel anyway in the collective.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that's because, you know, what is fear really? If we investigate this idea of fear, it's really just anticipation. That's all fear is. It's an anticipation of like not knowing what might happen, or what could happen, or what I want to happen. You know,
or some connection with what's happened in the past that would make someone believe that something similar as it's coming down the line might then occur in the future.
And when
but if you're present, then this doesn't hold power, and this doesn't happen. The presence allows you to be in your power.
And fear is actually there to ask yourself the question, what is it? So you go deeper inside it, you follow that. It's like going into a cave. You go into the cave, it's all dark, it's all hidden, you can't see in front of you, and you're sort of taking these steps and you're trembling a little bit, and you go
It's an adventure.
further into it, and you get so immersed that you can't see, sense, or feel anything. You might feel so numb to the terror of it. But in that moment, there's a grace that can happen. And when you turn around, there's this light shining your way out of that very wound, that very shadow, that very thought form, that pain. And there's this light that was waiting to be seen. And so there's only two choices. You either choose love or you choose fear. But when you choose love, it doesn't mean fear won't happen. It means that you choose to embrace that fear with love, to be fearless. So to be a pillar of love is to be fearless. But you have to go into it.
And that is what courage is. Courage does not mean that you do not fear. It means that you fear and you walk into it anyway.
Yeah. And so when you have a community of light, you have a community of support, you have friends and family that are pillars, and they love you for who you truly are, not what you do for them, or what you've given them, or what you say about them, or all these sort of transactions in a worldly sense. When you have a family that loves you for who you truly are, beyond what the eyes can see, and can recognize you in the hearts, then when you go deep into those shadows, you dive into those shadows, you have more courage to remember that nothing can truly hurt you.
And then, as you go deeper and deeper and further into it, you find that love is all that remains and all that ever did, and you die at the foot of God. You give it all. You give it all.
So profound. You give it all. You give it all.
And the truth is, you're going to have to anyway. You're going to have to anyway. So you either do it in a place of absolute surrender, absolute trust, and coming into contact with something that is been waiting for you all along.
You'll always choose love eventually.
Yeah.
There is no other choice. In truth. Yes, of course. Here there's the choice. There's different choices.
You think you have
love and fear.
choices.
But eventually everyone and everything will choose love.
We're all going that way.
Yeah.
So for our audience and those who are catching this all over different platforms, when there's so much collective fear right now, there's so much apparent division and chaos in the world, and some of them are not fortunate enough to be able to sit in your presence, but I can feel we're on the cusp of something. What hope can you give them today? And everything you've been saying already is that, and just because of the intensity of the time we're in, if there's anything else you would transmit for these beloveds?
Well, of course, it's intense and chaotic when one's inner reality is screaming, to remember, is screaming to find something that someone can rely on, something that you can find some stability with. When the whole world is shaking and changing because we're in a new age, of course everyone is seemingly unstable. But that instability is because the world is being rebirthed. And that instability is because one hasn't chosen what path they truly want to walk. If one chooses the path of their heart, chooses the path of the love, doesn't mean all the the suffering will just dissolve instantaneously. But what it does do, it provides you with a path for ultimately salvation. But if you're trying to find salvation in this world, you're never going to find it. So everyone that's trying to find salvation in this world from something external from them is going to be left into the demise of the world. And if you're following the culture of the world, when it's a soul-sick culture, because many people have forgotten the purity and virtue of the true human beingness, it needs to be chaotic so it can dismantle. The original blueprint of what this human species was literally seeded to be has walked astray. And now it's time to walk back. And there's many beautiful beings. There's millions, hundreds of millions of beings that are waking up and listening to that inner guidance, hearing that call. And sometimes those pebbles that of remembering that knock on your window, you don't listen to. It has to be these big boulders. And it's like, okay, I'll listen now. And that's what's happening.
What would it be like if everybody who seems to think or feel that they know what might be, what is happening, trusted in a greater intelligence, in an intelligence that has never been absent, in an intelligence that has given the power for the children to create realities, because God allows and the children create. And what would it be like if all of these people surrendered fully, sheathed their weapons, and started to focus inside of themselves to grow that light within them to the point that that light could shine so brightly that it would illuminate the depths of the darkness that has been brought for eons of time, recognizing that the divine plan cannot fail, is infallible, even if the small human mind and brain that only uses this much percentage of itself can understand it, perceive it, or process it. Recognizing that there is something so much greater at play here, and giving yourself fully to that grand design. Releasing the control, which is the particle self, if we're going to use science and quantum physics, versus the wave, which is all that is possible and all can happen. Recognizing its quantum experience as everything transcends itself and time quickens, and the particles of the earth are quickening, and the particles of the human and the atoms are quickening and moving faster. When things quicken, everything must come to the surface, anything that's been hidden, buried, or covered up. Trust that you cannot necessarily see beyond that right now, and reach higher. Imagine greater. And the more people that can do this collectively together at certain points, at certain times, can in fact shift the entire collective reality. And we are here to do just that.
I'd like to check in to see how you want to move things forward. there are some questions for you. I don't know if you'd like to hear from a few more of the people or have Mia come and lead a KES
Let's
group.
do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do that, beloved Mia.
Yes.
So wonderful.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. It's.
We can.
Should we allow you to?
We can. Sure. Whatever you
Perfect. Yeah.
Let's reverberate. Bring out everything that's not the grand operational
Yeah.
design.
This feels like a perfect time.
So we'll stay here then.
Beloved Charles, do you think you could dim the lights a little? Can we dim the lights at all for the program as well?
Where are they?
I got.
So let's just take a breath, and again, everyone that's with us, it's our deep joy to spend time with each one of you. Through this transmission, let's just breathe into this moment, share a collective breath, allow beloved Mia to guide us this next part of the journey.
Beautiful. Take a moment now as you're just breathing into this breath that was given to you in this lifetime, that's been this breath in all of your lifetimes. Feel it in the depths of your heart. Allowing yourself to turn your eyes inside. Looking down the spine. And bringing those eyes and that consciousness all the way down your spine. Deeper and deeper into our roots. Into the levels and the layers of this magnificent Mother Earth. Deeper into the core of the earth. Allowing yourself to be the witness, to experience the light of this beautiful Mother Earth. The heart and the heartbeat. Just being absorbed in this beautiful light. And with your next breath, breathing this beautiful light all the way back up. Up, 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 into your roots. Up into your spine. Back into your heart. And take a moment to feel that little spark within your heart. As you take another breath and now turn those eyes upward, going up, 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 out the crown of your head, up into the sky, higher and higher, and even higher, into the sun, into the center of the sun. Into this beautiful light of the sun. Being absorbed. Receiving all of the nutrients, the neutrinos from this beautiful sun. And in your next breath, bring this all the way back down. Back down into the crown of your head, back down into your heart. As this light of the sun and the light of the beautiful earth begin to merge and blend together. Dancing and weaving, lighting the spark. Be that light. Begin now to expand out that light. Out into your emotional body, your mental body. Out into your astral body. Your causal Akashic body. Your Atmic body, your celestial body. Allow yourself to just be in this space. Begin now to just come back. Just taking some breaths, deep breaths. Bringing everything back into these bodies. Allowing yourself to have the grace and the ease to integrate, to anchor and root. Breathing one more time. And being back into the here and the now. As we thank each and every one of you. And we thank this beautiful overlighting by ShekinahMa and SanandaJi. And the heavenly realms and the inner earth beings, all who serve the golden age and are here in support of the common good of all sentient life. We thank you and we honor you. Now it is done, so it is. Amen.
Thank you so, so much.
You're so welcome.
Profound. Thank you.
So welcome. Thank you.
This has been
Thank you for the opportunity to serve.
It's been such a sacred night, and to share this community with the awakening world and all the beings that will find this is really special.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for what you and Scott have done as well. We're so honored. Thank you, Scott.
Is there anyone who had an experience just now that you would like to share with our audience? Anybody? Maybe one person?
They're used to this, but yeah, come. Would you like to come up? Here. Here. You can come. Oops. What's your name?
Shoshana.
Shoshana. Welcome, Shoshana.
Thank you. Wow. I had a beautiful experience. The first time I came to the Haven opening, I experienced the rainbow light body they both had, and then I was like, oh, I have one too. It's very, very palpable and beautiful. But I had this experience. I've been working through a personal thing just with a family member that has been a little hurtful, just around the death of my father, somebody that I was very close to in my family, a betrayal thing. And I saw ShekinahMa. She just took it out of me and she showed it to me. It was like this diamond sun. And she goes, there you go, beloved. And she blew it away. It was like a little wishy that floated away. So
Beautiful. It could be that simple and that powerful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right.
Come be here. We'll complete together.
All right. I'm going to take out my little...
Oh.
You have to mute the computer.
Oh, can you? Okay, great. Wow, what an incredible evening.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody here. And maybe, Craig, can you do a little scan so our audience can see all the beautiful souls that have
The
been...
shining smile.
These beautiful smiles, these beautiful souls. Thank you, everybody, for being here, this beautiful community. You really are modeling so many people. We did a survey on the Awakening World recently of what people most wanted to see shows on, and community came in #1. So many people are really looking, you know, we used to be looking for our soulmate, and now we're looking for our tribe. We're looking for our community, right?
Soul tribe.
Yeah.
For our soul tribe. Exactly, exactly. And so you really are modeling it, and that's why really a couple of months ago, I said to SanandaJi, we should do a show all about the community, and that's how this evolved. So thank you for being who you all are and for modeling what community can be. And I have a feeling we're going to have some people moving to Ashland and possibly a puppy here.
Including you.
Exactly. And for our Awakening World audience, thank you very much for being with us. We will conclude with an Omashar song. So Omashar, you've got the power as co-host. Go ahead and put the spotlight on yourself, bro, and take it away with the closing song. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, he's muted. Oh no, we're muted.
Let's get rid of ourselves here. There we go.
Let's mute us.
What's going on, Omashar?
You're muted.
He got muted.
I can hear it.
No, we're not muted. Yeah, we're not muted.
Oh, yeah.
I thought.
Take two. Love is all there is. So put your hand in mine. Keep open your heart. We are love divine. Love is all. Is all there is. Love makes you feel good. Love is perfect. Love is all there is. Anything less is nothing. Love's for everyone. Love is in everyone. Love is you. You are love. Love is. Truth is in everyone. Love is truth. Truth is love. Love is. Love is. Love is. Love is all. Love is not a dream. Love's all there is. Love's what we live for. And this love lives in you. Touching you, guiding you. Love is in everyone. Love is you. You are love. Love is. Truth is in everyone. Love is truth. Truth is love. Love is. Love is. Love is. Love is all. Open your hearts. We are love divine.
We are loved.
How wonderful to combine our online Awakening World audience with our live audience here at the Haven.
What an absolutely beautiful experience. We are so blessed. I'm so blessed. And thank you, beloveds, beloved TwinRay and beloved community there. I am touched inside and out. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Omashar. And a reminder to join. Oh, here, hang on. Let me go back to the, there we go. Do it. There they are. Beautiful people.
Wow. You're beautiful. You're radiant. Thank you. And thank you, Eden. Eden, you are awesome. And Maggie, your voice is glorious. And so say all of us.
And thank you to everyone from Europe who woke up at 3 a.m.
Right.
That's the end. We love you.
All right. Well, thank you, beautiful, beautiful TwinRay community. Thank you, Awakening World audience. And remember, tomorrow morning, we have another show. Join us for our Sacred Sunday show. We have amazing authors that we're going to be meeting with. Omashar is going to play music tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Pacific time. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful night, and we'll see you soon. I'm going to go to gallery view one last time to see everybody. There they all are. Good night.